Welcome back to The Road Show. This morning in The Buzz, the Cranston School Department is being sued for discrimination for not allowing a mother to volunteer in her daughter's school because she failed a criminal background check. Now, here's what happened. Jessica Gianfranco tried to volunteer at her daughter's elementary school, but a conviction for heroin possession sent her to the ACI for 90 days 6 years ago is now in the way. Now, here's what's interesting. The ACLU is saying that Cranston's screening policy is tougher on parent volunteers who, might be there once a week than it is on their own employees who are there every day. Wow. Take a look what the mother and the ACLU are saying.
I've been volunteering since she was 18 months in her daycare and some of the sports she does, and she loves it. She loves introducing me to her friends, and I get to see her interact with people.
Teachers are not automatically disqualified based on a prior drug record from employment. Vendors are not automatically disqualified from being at the school just because of a prior drug conviction.
Now, Gianfranco says she tried to appeal the district's decision, but then discovered there's no appeal process. We should also mention that the ACLU agrees that there are some convictions that can legally disqualify volunteers, such as child molestation or abuse. So the question here is, barring this idea about the teachers for a moment.
Okay.
And barring the idea that, that I have to say, this woman has been in the forefront of creating legislation to prevent things like this from happening.
DC, right?
Yes, she's been very active, and clearly has gotten beyond her past troubles.
Someone seems like they've learned from their mistakes, right?
Do you think
which isn't always the case.
Exactly.
Which is why, this is happening, I think.
And do you think that she should, or someone in her position should be allowed to volunteer?
Hey, Cranston, chill. Seriously? I mean, this woman has done so much since she had her run-ins with the law and her problem with the heroin, and she's made many strides, based on what I've read in the research that we've done in this short time, to right a wrong here and, help her daughter since she was 18 months old through preschool, the whole process. She wasn't convicted of molesting a child, nothing that would give you any kind of indication that she'd be there to endanger another child. This, as a parent who has young children, if I was presented on a board with this situation, I'd say, hey, give this woman a chance. Give her another chance. She's proven since she did the time for the crime that she has made the necessary changes to make a better life.
There is such a need for volunteers as well. What do you think?
I think this has to be a case-by-case basis, though.
I agree. I totally
think
agree.
It totally does. She seems like she's proven, that, like Pat said, she did the crime, did the time, that she's moved on. But I think it has to be a case-by-case basis, especially something with drugs in school. Obviously, if accused of abuse or child molestation, then I think you're out no matter what. Even if you do the time, I think something that serious.
Well, and some people will
out.
say, preying on children is not something that you can be.
But drugs with kids, at that age, that's when it starts. So I think it doesn't surprise me that something like this is happening, but I think it has to be a case-by-case basis. And it seems like this woman has proven that, her child's best interest.
I was just going to say, and they said the rules aren't as strict for people that are getting paid to work in
this.
That makes no sense.
Shocking. That is shocking.
Someone's volunteering her time.
I will say, though, that there are, when you make decisions you make today will affect you tomorrow. And sometimes when you go down a destructive path, it's going to hurt you in ways that you can't anticipate. And, there are going to be some people who say, listen, this is a person who has a history of drug abuse. I don't want that person around my child, or at least for a decade, until they're clean for a decade.
And again, it wasn't a stolen car, this or that. It's drugs, and kids and drugs is a dicey situation, I think.
Well, I want to throw it over to Melissa Sardelli because I'm interested to hear about how people on our live blog are reacting to this morning.
Yeah, well, I have to say, everyone on the live blog this morning is pretty much on the same page as all of us. They're saying, she paid her time, she's a mom, she's really trying to get out there and help, so give her a break. But let's head on to a live blog right now and see what some of our blogger friends have to say this morning. JB says, people do rehab, so I think she deserves at least a chance. And if she's clean now, I see no problem with it. And Aaron S. says, I can understand both sides. As a parent, I would be leery. As an adult, you want to believe they have to be clean, and you're trying to turn things around. I'm just torn. either way. And in case you're just joining us this morning, I posted today's Buzz Poll question on our homepage on foxprovidence.com. Today we're asking, do you think a parent convicted on drug charges should be allowed to volunteer? Your choices are A, yes, they serve their time behind bars, or B, no, they cannot be trusted around kids. And as always, our friends on Facebook are weighing in this morning. Anthony says, I could see if it was a recent drug conviction not to allow her to volunteer, but this was before her child was born. People do change, and I think that she should be able to volunteer at her child's school. And Brian Birch says just because she did or does drugs has nothing to do with her ability to volunteer. And Kristen Raposa says, give her a second chance. It was 6 years ago. I feel bad for her daughter that this is a big story, and watch now, many parents won't let their kids play with her. And don't go anywhere, because I'll be back at the end of the show with your web poll results. But for